In the small town of Maplewood, where mornings smelled of fresh coffee and evenings echoed with passing trains, everyone knew Evan Carter as the boy who never hurried. At 21, Evan had mastered the art of avoiding effort. He slept late, skipped responsibilities, and believed tomorrow was always a better day to start, whatever start meant. Maplewood was the kind of town where people waved at each other and hard work was quietly respected. Evan's parents had raised him with values, but somewhere along the way, comfort wrapped around him like a warm blanket. He dropped out of community college after a semester, promising he'd figure things out. Instead, he spent his days on the couch, scrolling endlessly, telling himself that life would eventually fall into place. His mother worked double shifts at the local hospital. His father drove delivery trucks before dawn. Every night they came home tired, and every night Evan said the same thing, "I'll do better tomorrow." Tomorrow never came. The call to adventure arrived one autumn morning in the form of an envelope. The bank logo stared at him from the kitchen table. Evan ignored it until his father opened it with trembling hands. The house, small, familiar, and full of memories, was facing foreclosure. "We're behind," his father said quietly. "We need help." Evan felt something stir in his chest, fear, maybe guilt, but it quickly dissolved into avoidance. He muttered an apology and retreated to his room. Laziness had always been his shield. When things felt heavy, he hid. But the world doesn't wait. 2 weeks later, Evan's father collapsed at work. Stress, the doctor said. Too much weight carried alone. As Evan sat in the hospital hallway, the glow of his phone felt suddenly pointless. For the first time, there was no screen to escape into. That night, something broke open inside him. This was the refusal of the call, the moment when Evan wanted to go back, to comfort, to ease, to pretending. But reality stood firm. There was no one else. If he didn't move, everything would fall apart. The next morning, Evan walked into Harris Auto Repair, a greasy little shop on Main Street, and asked for work. Mr. Harris, an old mechanic with oil-stained hands and sharp eyes, looked him up and down. "You lazy?" he asked bluntly. "I used to be," Evan swallowed. Mr. Harris grunted. "We'll see." Thus began Evan's crossing of the threshold. The work was brutal. Early mornings, heavy lifting, long hours on his feet. His muscles screamed, his hands blistered, and more than once he nearly quit. Laziness whispered in his ear every day, "This is too hard. Go home. Rest." But then he remembered his father in that hospital bed, his mother's tired smile, the house that might soon be gone. So he stayed. Mr. Harris became an unlikely mentor, teaching Evan not just how to fix engines, but how to show up. "Motivation doesn't come first," he'd say. "Discipline does." Weeks turned into months. Evan changed, slowly, painfully, but truly. He woke up early. He saved money. He learned pride in finishing a job well. Each paycheck felt earned, and with it came something unfamiliar: self-respect. Then came the ordeal. A massive storm hit Maplewood one night, flooding streets and knocking out power. Harris Auto Repair was damaged badly. Insurance wouldn't cover everything. Mr. Harris gathered his workers and told them he might have to shut down. For Evan, it felt like the ground disappeared beneath him. Just when he had started to build something, it was being taken away. That night, Evan didn't retreat, he acted. He organized a community fundraiser, something old Evan would have laughed at. He went door to door. He spoke at town meetings. He shared his story honestly, how laziness nearly destroyed his family, and how work saved him. People listened. Maplewood showed up. The shop reopened. Evan had reached his transformation. He wasn't the boy who waited anymore. He was the man who moved. Months later, Evan enrolled back in school, this time for automotive engineering. He balanced classes with work. It was hard. Some days he failed, but he never quit. Years later, Evan stood in front of a new building, Carter Automotive Solutions. His name on the sign felt unreal. His parents stood beside him, pride shining in their eyes. That night, Evan walked through his childhood home, the same one they'd almost lost. He sat on the couch where laziness once ruled his life and smiled, not with regret, but gratitude. He had learned the truth the hard way. Laziness doesn't just waste time, it steals futures, and effort, no matter how late, can still save them. Moral of the story? Laziness destroys potential, relationships, and dreams, but the moment you choose effort, your life can change.